Hello,
Hello.
it's your girl again, Ame. Okay, so we're here today with another beautiful topic. So I would like everybody to pay attention because this topic will change your life for good.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. I'm here with your girl, Ame. My name is Kelechi. Obviously, her husband,
Yay.
the man behind the scene.
Yeah, you can say that again.
All right. Today we want to look at something very important. You know, in life, we are faced with a lot of challenges, and in most cases, things don't turn out our way. Now, if that happens, what do you do? Maybe you've been planning to travel out of the country and you've really stuck your mind to that. Like, this is all I want. And eventually, that doesn't turn out that way. What do you do?
Mhm.
So, this brings us to today's topic.
Yes. And that is what if?
Yeah, what if? Sometime I was going to make a trip and I told my wife, honey, I don't know, I feel somehow. What if I don't come back from this trip? Do you know what her reaction was? God forbid.
Yes.
God forbid. Of course, that's the usual reaction for most of us. God forbid. Nobody wants anything evil. But the reality of life is we only control what is within our powers when we are still alive.
Mm-hmm.
We don't control certain things beyond our power. So we're going to be looking at areas in our families where we need to ask this question, what if? I think after that, my wife sat down, she had deep thought and knew that indeed I was right. What if I didn't come back? She didn't have control over that, but thank God I came back anyway. So let's look at areas where we need to say, what if?
Okay, thank you very much for that. I would start by saying that it's very important, and I believe it's proper, that every relationship should have like a common interest. Let me put it that way.
Sure.
And we should be able to discuss. If you've not discussed before marriage, it's important you discuss during your marriage or in the course of your marriage. And these questions are very important because these are things that happen every day of our lives. And so we need to be able to ask ourselves, what if? So the first question here is, what if we break up? Yes. Do you ask yourself, what if we break up? What happens? You know, because of course, marriages break up. So many things, so many relationships break up. So what if we break up? What happens? What happens to us? Do you think you get married to somebody else? Well, number two, what if I get poor or maybe I become very rich? What happens? Will you still stand by me? Will the marriage still work? And if I become very rich, what will happen? Very important. Number three, what if I fall ill and can no longer look after the family? Yes, very important question. What if I fall ill and I can no longer look after the family?
Yes, of course. Most marriages flourish when both couples are healthy and strong, and in most cases when there's money flowing. But then there are certain things that are beyond our control, like when you fall ill. Of course, nobody prays for sickness that brings you down, but things like this happen.
Yes.
So what if the breadwinner falls ill?
Yes.
What happens?
Yes. Number 4, what if we both die? What happens to the kids? Have you thought about it? Like, you discuss with your partner or your husband or your wife and you say, what happens if both of us die? Who can take care of our kids? Who can we entrust these kids to? Do we have savings? Do we have something that can help these kids? Have you talked about that?
And that's why I usually say that no one can live life in isolation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no matter how you dread people, you can't live life in isolation.
Yes.
So this is a very important area too you need to think about.
Yes.
You have kids, you know, and you've been living in isolation from your relatives, your friends. Have you ever thought of this question? What if we both die?
Yes.
What happens to the kids?
Yes.
Who do you entrust these kids under their care?
Yes.
It's important. You have to begin to search now because nobody knows.
No.
Nobody prays for death.
Exactly. Another question. What if we lose everything?
Ooh.
What if we lose everything? What happens? Like, this is so true. Because if you listen to some people speak, or if you listen to their experience, then you will know that things are really happening.
Life is messy.
Yes, that is
Very
why you
messy.
hear things like from grace to grass. What
Life
happens?
is messy. Life has actually messed a lot of people up, you know. So you have to. Sometimes people say experience is the best teacher. It's not always the case, you know. You need to prepare. You mustn't wait for experience. That's why this topic is very important.
Yes.
What if? So don't think things will always be rosy.
Yes. Then, what if one of us cheats? Our everyday reality. Yes, what happens if one of us cheats? You know, my husband and I will always talk about this. So what happens? I said, I don't know. When it happens, then maybe we'll know what will happen. So, but I think we need to talk about this more often.
Yeah, in as much as couples do their best to stick together and all that, you know, sometimes the our willpower, or what I call the human power, may fail you, you know. So it's also important, and that's why it's important for couples to always discuss, you know, try your best to tell yourself things, you know, and try to make yourselves priorities above every other person. You know, it's not out of place for couples to cheat and things happen, but then try and have a principle, you know, that you live with. It will help you to guide you.
Yes. Okay, so what if I stop loving you?
Yeah, it's
what happens?
This is one of the factors that lead people to cheating, you know. Once that connection between you and your couple begins to tear apart, begins to weaken, there's that tendency that you begin to drift towards some other person. Yeah. So love is renewable.
Exactly.
You must renew your love.
Exactly.
I tell you, that chemistry that started when you were actually trying to get married is not the same chemistry that you have when you're married, because children have come, responsibilities have come, and all that. So you must intentionally renew your love.
Yes.
You know. So when people say, "Oh, this couple, you know, no longer love themselves," I don't say, "Oh, it's not possible." It's possible, but you must constantly renew your love. However, what if?
Exactly.
What if you no longer love each other?
Yes.
It's an important question. Do something about it.
Yes. So we're going to round it up with this last question, and it is, what if we can't have kids? What happens? Will we still stick together? Are you going to walk out of